Welcome, everyone, to Vested Interest. This is Shane. Monday, April 21st. We're going to take a look at one out of the healthcare sector. This is Thermo Fisher Scientific. Now, before we get too far in the video, if you could do me a big favor, hit that thumbs up button down below if you find any value in the content. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Join us on this journey to financial freedom. Join the Vested Interest community. Click that notification bell so you're notified whenever I put out any new content. I do this Stock Pick of the Day video series Monday through Thursday. We take a look at a company stock that's pulled back on the day, run it through my screener and see if it makes it on my watch list. If it does make it onto the watch list, that does not necessarily mean I am buying. It just means I am interested in doing more of a deep dive into the company's financials, then doing a discounted cash flow analysis, giving myself a range I'm willing to pay, and then possibly adding it to the portfolio, right? There is also the thanks button down there for anyone who might want to buy me a cup of tea. And let's get back to the rest of the video here. This is the stock screener. You can run through this. I did make I'm going to be making a bit of a change. I'm going to be changing ROIC, ROE to ROCE. It's basically a mesh of these two is basically how I'm getting it, and it seems to be easier to look at. But we won't do that well, I think we did do it at the end. So we'll see the end slide if this is changed, but I will change this in the beginning to reflect that going forward. Now back to Thermo Fisher. You can check them out on their homepage, www.thermofisher.com. Again, that's www.thermofisher.com, thermofisher.com. That is their homepage where I pull this information from. About Thermo Fisher Scientific. Thermo Fisher Scientific, ticker TMO, is the world leader in serving science. With annual revenue over $40 billion, our mission is to enable our customers to make the world healthier, cleaner, and safer, whether our customers are accelerating life sciences research, solving complex analytical challenges, increasing productivity in their laboratories, improving patient health through diagnostics, or the development and manufacture of life-changing therapies. That's a very nice way of saying the drugs that we get and everyone seems to be on these days, and manufacture of life-changing therapies rather than pharmaceutical drugs. We are here to support them. Our global team delivers an unrivaled combination of innovative technologies, purchasing convenience, and pharmaceutical services through our industry-leading brands, including Thermo Scientific, Applied Biosystems, Introgen, Fisher Scientific, Unity Lab Services, Patheon, and PDD. And as you can see, I pulled up all of these again from this description down below, and you can go to their homepage and right below each one of these you could click on learn more, and so I'm just going to give you the high level explanation of each one of these breakdowns in the bottom. Thermo Scientific, a commitment to analytical precision. Thermo Scientific instruments, equipment, software, services, and consumables address a range of needs from sample, material, characterization, and chemical analysis to clinical diagnosis and biological-based therapeutics manufacturing, right? So that's really in the lines of drug manufacturing, to put it in a real simple term, easy to understand, right? They are involved in drug manufacturing through these different aspects: instruments, equipment, software, services, and consumables, right? So they are providing a lot of products for people making the drugs out there. The path to genomic discoveries, and that's under Applied Biosystems. Our genomic solutions are trusted to address a variety of basic commercial and clinical research applications in fields such as cancer diagnostics, human identification testing, and animal health, as well as inherited and infectious disease, right? So this is around biosciences, trying to figure out how to cure cancers and other diseases. And I'm surprised they have animals, but I guess that makes sense. There's a lot more people that'll pay a buttload of money. I know I just paid, I think it was about $3,800 to have an operation on my cat because he swallowed something and it got stuck inside him. So there are people out there paying a lot of money. I'll have to raise my hand on that to keep their pets healthy. And we had to throw away all of my daughter's little guns, little Nerf guns, and they're not just Nerf anymore. A bunch of different companies make them, but same little bullets, little foam bullets that my cat ate got lodged and had to have a surgery for that. So it was crazy. But anyways, that's what they're around. So I guess not surprising that they have animals and people involved in that type of research. Invitrogen is accelerating discovery research. Again, another one in research. You can read these. I don't want the video to get too long. Fisher Scientific over here, the scientific marketplace for unrivaled choice and convenience. As the premier scientific marketplace, the Fisher Scientific channel has defined choice and convenience for our own a century. We keep science moving forward by offering over 2.5 million products and extensive support services to the research, products, healthcare, and science education markets around the world, right? So they're providing, probably sounds like some of the same type of stuff they're providing here for the scientific community that they're providing for the healthcare community. Unity Lab Services, you can read underneath that one, and Patheon, I'll just read a little bit, end-to-end pharma service solutions, right? So they are providing sales to different pharmaceutical companies. So again, around healthcare and science, I know they're called Thermo Fisher Scientific, but really healthcare seems to be part of their bread and butter as well. Now, the reason we are taking a look at them, down 1.31%, along with the rest of the market, a bloodbath in the market today. I don't think that there was maybe but a handful of companies that were up today, and Thermo Fisher Scientific, ticker TMO, out of the healthcare sector was no different. They closed out the day at $421.92, down 1.31%. 52-week range as low as $409.85, as high as $627.88. They are within 15% of their 52-week low. They have a market cap of $159.049 billion. So a large cap company here, a beta of 0.87. They are less volatile than the overall market. PE ratio, $25.47 per share. Seems a little elevated, but if they're growing fast enough, it might be justified. EPS, earnings per share, very high, $16.54 per share. Earnings date, April 23rd, so it's coming up in a couple days. Depending on what happens there, you could end up with a bigger drop or a springboard up. Who knows? And even if it has good earnings, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to go up. The market is crazy that way. Forward dividend is $1.72. They're a quarterly payer. We'll see that here towards the end of the video. Yield of 0.4%, so very low starting dividend yield. I believe they are a fast grower in that phase, though their dividends are growing fast. We'll see that here towards the end as well. Ex-dividend date, March 14th. Looks like they are going to pay out on April 15th. You will not get this, or we're past April 15th. So you may have gotten this April 15th, and you would get the next dividend if you were to buy them today, but you're going to have to wait a few months, right, to get it because they just paid out. And 1 year target estimate, at least according to Yahoo Finance, where I pulled this information, $628.36. So they see quite a bit of upside from where it currently sits, and setting a new 52-week high. Now, jumping over here to the right, I like to look at dividend yield theory to see if the company is potentially presenting any undervaluation. To do that, we look at their 5-year dividend yield average, 0.22%. We compare that to their current 0.40%, or over here where it says forward, 0.40. And since it is higher than their 5-year average, that speaks to undervaluation. The numbers are inversely correlated. If this number was lower than 0.22, it would speak to overvaluation. But since it is higher and almost double, that speaks to undervaluation, at least according to dividend yield theory. Very low payout ratio on this one, 9.44%. And dropping down, I want growing free cash flow over time because I want my dividends to grow. And typically, if a company has growing free cash flow, and they're paying dividend, that's part of what they're using it for, to help raise that dividend over time. So going back here to December 2021, $6.7 billion in free cash flow. December 2022 up to $6.91 billion. December 2023 up to $6.92 billion. And December 2024 up to $7.2 billion. So nice, steady growth there over time, at least for the last 4 years. Repurchase of capital shares, they are repurchasing shares as well. December 2021, 2 million pulled out of the market. 2022 increased that up to 3 million. 2023 kept to that 3 million, but in 2024 they raised it up again, 4 million shares pulled out of the market. So increasing their share buybacks as well. Jumping over to stockanalysis.com, this is another source I go to for information. I am not affiliated with stockanalysis.com or Yahoo Finance, which we saw on the previous page. Just two of the sources I go to for information, and I do recommend more than one source so you can make sure the information you are looking at is accurate and up to date. 2, if not 3 sources, again, so you can make sure what you're looking at is accurate. They do have 19 analysts that have taken a look at this. They call it a consensus buy. If you were to go to the website, you could click on each one of these little tabs. It would tell you how many might call it a strong sell, a hold, a buy, or a strong buy. I think it was 8 were a buy, and then there were several more in the strong buy and a few in the hold. So obviously it's a hold or a buy leaning towards a strong buy here, according to these 19 analysts, the consensus anyway. They do have a low estimate of $475, and it's currently lower than that. So if it came back up to their low estimate, that would represent an 8.75% increase from where it currently sits. Average estimate of $640.95. That's not too far off with what we saw with Yahoo Finance on the previous page, and that would represent a 46.74% increase. And if it happened to hit their high estimate of $718, that would represent a 64.38% increase, and you could collect that 0.4, 0.5% dividend if you were to buy them now. Now, jumping into statistics, I like to look at return on equity and return on invested capital, but we are changing that to return on capital employed, which is basically marrying these two together. So this is what we're going to go with going forward. Return on capital employed must be 10% or better, just like return on equity and return on invested capital before must be 10% or better. We're just looking at one metric instead of two. So it's not quite there. EPS growth still needs to be over 5%. For my liking, it's at 17.82%, so would get a check there. Revenue growth forecasted at 4.87%. So there's that revenue growth. That's not part of my initial screener. That's just something I add in, but I do look at that when I do more of a deep dive into the financials of the company. Now, quarterly payer here, as we said, payout ratio again low. I think Yahoo Finance had them in the 9% range. This says 10.4. Either way, that's very low. Dividend growth 11.11%. So very high growing dividend here. Even though the starting yield is low, they are growing it by double digits. Growth year 7. Buyback yield is positive at 1.29%, so they're doing it at opportune times. Shareholder yield is positive at 1.7%. They do pay out on the January, April, July, October timeframe. And going back to September 2021 here, you can see they were paying 30 cents in dividends. They raised that up March 14th, 2023 up to 35 cents, raised it up again March 2024 up to 39 cents, and the most recent raise March 2025 up to 43 cents. So nice steady raises and nice fast dividend growth there, even though again low starting dividend yield. All right, let's check the screener here. Understand the business. Yes, check there. Growing free cash flow. Yeah, actually one of the few times we've seen that one. So check there. Growing dividend. Yes, very fast dividend growth, double digits. It is under 75% payout, down in the 10% range. Check there. Dividend yield theory says it's potentially undervalued. Check there. It is within 15% of a 52-week low. Check there. ROCE, there we had it updated there, just not at the beginning. We are going to be looking at return on capital employed. So 10% or better there, no. It wasn't quite there. It was at 9%, so very close. Earnings per share growth equal to or greater than industry average of 5% or better. It was over 17%. So check there. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 8. This one, I believe, is already on my watch list. I'll have to check that, but it definitely will make it onto my watch list if it is not already. And I believe this was a recommendation. I just could not find the comment where the individual recommended it. I apologize for that. So that is really it for this one. Thermo Fisher Scientific. They are, I know it says scientific in the name, but they really are in the healthcare sector, and part of their bread and butter is that healthcare sector. A lot of attention there as far as their products and what they provide for the healthcare sector. And as always, appreciate you stopping by. If you haven't done so already, don't forget to show me some love. Hit that thumbs up, ring the notification bell. Most importantly, subscribe to the channel. Join us on this journey to financial freedom. Join the vested interest community. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think of Thermo Fisher Scientific. Let me know what you think of the video. I do personally read and respond to the comments. I'm always interested to read your questions, opinions, or suggestions for future topics. So if you have a company like Thermo Fisher Scientific you'd like me to cover in the Stock Pick of the Day series, go ahead and drop it down below, and I'll work it in the rotation on a day it pulls back. And this is Shane signing off, wishing peace and prosperity to you and yours. And remember, financial security comes to those who take a vested interest. We will see you in the next one. Thanks for stopping by. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing in this presentation should be considered financial advice. I'm only sharing my opinion. Investment journey for educational and entertainment purposes. Investing involves risk. You can lose money. You should never invest any amount you are not comfortable losing. Always do your own research. Invest based on your situation, circumstances, and select criteria, or seek the advice and counsel of a certified financial advisor.